I am so freaking glad I can say I can actually sit and watch Season 2 of Durarara. This was an enjoyable and fun episode, and fun first episode of Season 2. I don't even want to imagine how painful it must have been for you fans of this series to be waiting years, probably like 2-3 years since this aired. I don't even want to imagine how many of you had to wait for this episode, and I only had to wait like a week and a half, 2 weeks, so, my god. The pain already when I had to wait a week and a half sucked. I can't imagine a year or two. So anyways, this episode, man, just straight up, Durarara X2. Oh, all those iconic characters, everything that we know and love from Season 1 pretty much comes back in this episode. And here's the thing, okay? With this episode, it pretty much picks up right where episode 25, I think it was episode 25, or was it 24? Episode 24 or 25 leaves off. Pretty much that, like, little special side OVA episode that had it to where we got to meet Shou's brother. Pretty much, that's exactly where this episode technically starts up. I mean, it kind of starts up right after the events of episode 24, but at the exact same time, it doesn't. For instance, this episode, as always, when it comes to the Durarara format, it usually tells the ending conclusion of the episode right at the beginning, and then it switches over to telling you how they got to that certain situation. And that's one thing I really never covered in my actual reviews of Durarara Season 1. I love the format of the way the series is perceived. For instance, they always put like the ending conclusion of the episode. They don't like completely spoil the episode, but they interest you enough to find out exactly what happened, how did it get to this point. I love how they do that at the beginning of the episodes, and then they show you how they got there. Just seeing that type of stuff, it really is engaging, and I like the storytelling of that, and that's what makes Durarara stand out when it comes to its storytelling, and why I really appreciate this series, along with them keeping the previously in the middle of the opening song. Like, okay, as I covered in my full series review of Durarara about 2 weeks back, I was a massive fan of that previously on the last episode of Durarara, for instance, showing the events of the last episode in the middle of the opening. That right there, I fucking love. I love that so much because it's unique. It really is engaging, the way the music plays in the background, it keeps you entertained, and I'm glad that Durarara Season 2 managed to keep this and are actually using this element in Season 2. So, besides that, moving past those entire elements, let's talk about the opening. So, the opening song, besides the, the previews or previously on the last season of Durarara, it was a good opening. I fucking love the opening. When it comes to Durarara, it's very artistic. It's an artistic opening. I love the art style of Durarara, as I covered once before. It's very unique, and the opening is really, really colorful. Like, a lot of colors, vibrant colors, coming in when you watch that opening song of Season 2, and it definitely has that feel and atmosphere that Season 1 had. So, I'm glad that the opening song is fucking amazing. Love the ending song. It has that dark vibe to it. It's a great ending song, and once again, it also suits Durarara's overall atmosphere and mood. So, moving past ending song and opening song, let's talk about the episode. So, this episode of Durarara, for one thing, you have the standard classical references when it comes to different anime. For instance, we had a Mahoka reference, a Black Bullet reference, we had a freaking Index reference, and we had a SAO Def Gun reference. I mean, there was a lot of references, and when I saw these references in this episode, I'm like, it's like retelling all the shit I watched this year. That's pretty much what it was doing. I'm like, holy shit, like, oh my god, like, bringing up Mahoka, bringing up Black Bullet, bringing up, SAO, Def Gun's arc, and an Index on top of that. I'm like, fuck. I really hope we get another Index season. I really do. We need a Season 3. We straight up need a Season 3 of Index. And my boy, man, my fucking boy, he says he doesn't read light novels, but he loves Index. That's my boy. That's my fucking boy. He loves freaking Index. That's my fucking boy. He's my boy. Okay, so anyways, now that I can move past that, okay? Let's just push that to the side. This episode it pretty much sets up things to come. There's a lot of little mini setups going on in this episode that I noticed is probably going to play a major role in this first half of Durarara. Now, I don't think it's been announced yet, so if anyone knows, please let me know in the comments below. I don't know if Durarara Season 2 is going to be getting 25 episodes, 24 episodes. I have no idea how many episodes this season is going to get, but judging by how I think, I don't know if I'm correct, I think the light novels are still ongoing. I'm willing to bet that we're probably going to have a 24 episode series, so this has my hopes up. I'm really happy about that, because, I mean, I love Durarara, I love the atmosphere, I love the characters, I love the development of the characters, the story is really unique, and honestly, I just hope this lasts a long time, because, I mean, I had so much fun watching Season 1. So, anyways, back on topic. This episode, the mini setups it does, it sets up this murder. This murderer is going around killing people, as we can see, and this person loves putting on different outfits, like different hats. Like, he has a dinosaur outfit, he had, like, a random dog outfit. I mean, he switches between these different, like, you know, headpieces, and they're really creepy looking. So, we have a new murderer that's set up, and most likely is going to be really vital to the plot later on down the road in probably the first half of Durarara Season 2, because, I mean, if I remember Season 1, I mean, we had the entire events with Saika, we had the entire bit with Celti's head, I mean, we had all this type of stuff building up, and pretty much, maybe this murder case that's going on, it might not pop up until, like, the later half of Durarara Season 2, because, I mean, that's how the Saika case was. I mean, we gotta remember that. So, anyways, from what I understand from this episode, it seems like Izaya is setting up Celti in this episode. Like, he's starting shit, as always. We know he's like the modern-day Joker of Durarara. He's pretty much the Joker. And he... it isn't shown that he does it, but it's pretty easy to assume he did it. For instance, there's a bounty on Celti's head at the end of this episode. You see a bunch of these bikers and stuff trying to catch Celti or the Black Rider for, like, 10 million yen. That's fucking ridiculous. So, pretty much, I'm willing to bet that Izaya set it up. He's just trying to start shit, as always. And most likely, this might lead into what this arc is going to be about. What if, you know, people find out where Celti lives? Izaya would love that. He loves the conflict. He loves seeing emotions of the humans. You know how he is. So, I wonder if he actually is setting this arc up for that. That would be really interesting if it is. So, past that, the other characters like Kita, and then you got, you know, Saika and all that type of stuff, they don't really have a big role in this episode. This episode mainly focuses on Celti. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, Celti and Shinra love their characters, and I mean, Celti is one of the most iconic characters when it comes to Durarara, so I'm glad the first episode focused on her, and we got some more screen time for that cop. For instance, that cop that was chasing after Celti in Season 1, the one thing I was really disappointed with when it came to Season 1 was how that cop appeared out of nowhere, but he had no importance to the overall role of Season 1. So I'm glad it seems like he might have a more dominant role in Season 2, so I'm looking forward to seeing more how he really is. And on top of that, too, we have a new character introduced with Shinra's, like, mother-in-law, or new mother, pretty much, or stepmother. Pretty much, Shinra has a new stepmother, and Celti now has a new mother-in-law. And I like the character. Really wacky, unique, and unique personality. Definitely suits with Shinra's father. So, that's pretty much this episode. I mean, there's a lot of other setups going on, too, here and there. But, I mean, it was a good episode. I'm kind of upset that we didn't have Russian sushi. Russian sushi. We didn't have that, so I was kind of disappointed. And we also didn't have the iconic Shizuo, you know, throwing vending machine, so I was also disappointed with that. But I mean, hey, first episode of Season 2. Get me that Celti, so that's all I need. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night, wherever you live. Please be safe, and Chibi out.